请看。
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me at the back? Give me a wave if you can hear me at the back. Wave all around. Thank you so much. It is fantastic to be here with all of you in person for the AWS Summit in 2022. We have thousands of people here in person, and it is fantastic to see you all. The AWS business itself is also very, very different. Back then, 10, 12 years ago, you'd only have to say the words cloud computing, and myself or one of my two colleagues based in Europe would come and jump on a flight, and we would come and talk to you about the opportunities of cloud computing. And those conversations were always about, well, what are the benefits? Why should I move to the cloud? And today those conversations are almost always about, how do I move to the cloud? How do I move to the cloud more aggressively? How can I make better use of the cloud inside of my organization? And today we have millions of customers in virtually every industry. Small startups, people in their pajamas just getting going with the next big idea. Fast-growing startups that are moving incredibly quickly, finding product market fit and growing their businesses, to very, very large enterprises who initially often start to look at the cloud as a way to reduce costs, but find the benefits lie increasingly in the speed and agility that it gives to their teams and their builders, as well as large organizations inside the public sector, and over 100,000 partners that are available to help you and your organizations move to the cloud more quickly. So as we've got all of these customers, and as we grow the AWS capabilities, one of the things we hear time and time again is that customers base their decision of cloud platform deeply on the broadest and deepest service capabilities. And we have over 200 services available on AWS today. Everything from compute to storage to databases, through to robotics, augmented and virtual reality, machine learning, analytics, you name it, we probably have a service to do it. And the reason for that, and I know it can be a little bit overwhelming to look at this big long list of services, but the reason we do that is, once you're in the door at AWS, you really don't want any barriers between your idea, which could be the next transformative idea for your organization, or the next transformative idea for your own customers. You don't want any barriers between that idea that may come to you in the shower in the morning and the delivery, prototyping, and then scaling of that idea, no matter what their idea is. And so this broad set of capabilities allows you to just follow your nose. It allows you to satisfy your curiosity as to whether your idea has legs, quickly, cheaply, and then take it out to whatever size scale your customers demand. And it's not just the breadth of those capabilities, but it's the depth of capabilities inside each one of those services. Inside each one of those services, you'll find all the features that you need to be able to quickly, cheaply, and efficiently spin up your idea and actually take it out to customers and start trying it on board. So AWS is an engine for driving your ideas. It's an engine for satisfying your curiosity. But we don't just stop there. One of the things customers tell us over and again that they love is that when they wake up in the morning, often AWS has shipped just a broad set of net new capabilities onto the platform. They didn't have to do anything. Those net new capabilities were just there. Last year alone, in 2021, we shipped over 3,000 major new services and capabilities onto the platform. And we're on pace to do at least that, probably more than that again this year. And so this is a tremendously transformative impact for your teams. Gone are the years where you had to go buy software, install updates, manage those updates yourself. And in is the idea that those new features are just available on a regular, rapid clip, and those features are almost always driven by customer demand. So if you have any ideas for things you'd like to see us build, please just let me know. You can find my email, it's matthew@amazon.com. And it's not just the breadth, it's not just the depth, it's not just the pace of delivery. Customers also love that they can take their ideas global in a matter of minutes, with a large, significant global infrastructure, which is ever expanding and is already larger than any other cloud provider. So no matter where your customers are based, no matter where you want to take your business, AWS has infrastructure and resources in that location to allow you to build that idea and take it globally, literally in minutes. And whilst it's not the most important metric, this capability and speed has been recognized by other analysts. This is the Gartner Magic Quadrant by what was published last year. I'm sure many of you are familiar with the Magic Quadrant, but if you're not, like any good business school 101 graph, up and to the right is better. And you can see AWS up there in the top right-hand leaders quadrant. So whilst today we have a pretty broad set of capabilities, and those capabilities are deep, and those deep features being added on a regular clip, and those deep features are available globally, it wasn't always this way. And some of you may not be familiar with just how painful life was before the cloud existed. Or maybe some of you are going through this today. But without the cloud, things look very, very different. To start with, if you've got a new idea that you have in the shower, you can't just spin up the services and get going. You have to file like a bunch of paperwork. You have to write down your idea, you have to go present it to a bunch of people, everybody has to agree that's what you want to go do. Before you even write a line of code, before you test whether that idea has legs, you've got to fill in just so much paperwork. You've got to put it all in writing. And then, if everybody agrees with your idea, then you get the opportunity to write a really big check. A check which is a capital investment in infrastructure which you can go buy for yourself, and then you get the opportunity to maintain. You don't just get that infrastructure in minutes, you usually have to wait quite a long time, not just minutes or hours, but often days or weeks. And after you've waited days or weeks or even months, what you get isn't a service. What you get is just some cardboard boxes in your loading bay. And from there, you get the opportunity to rack and stack and cable all of that infrastructure. You get to download and install a whole bunch of software. You get to keep that software up to date over time. Then you get to power and you get to cool that infrastructure for as long as you want to run it. And as you might imagine, this makes developers very sad. It doesn't inspire them to take their best ideas and implement them. It doesn't inspire them to be constantly looking for ways to improve their product and their business for their own customers. It just makes them sad. But what makes them sadder is that eventually somebody will say, hey, great job, let's do it all again next year. And they get the opportunity to write more paperwork. They get the opportunity to write another huge check with capital outlay. They don't just wait minutes or hours, they then wait weeks or months before the hardware arrives in the building block. They get to rack, stack, and cable all that infrastructure, install the software, go ahead, power, and cool all the hardware. And this makes them just very sad. All of that cognitive work, all of that excitement of their idea is dissipated by the time the actual capability to execute is available to them. And there's nothing more demoralizing. There's nothing more that will shut down the excitement of your teams than having to go through that process. And just all of that disappears with the cloud. When it's been incredibly exciting over the past 12 years that I've been at the company and longer that I've been using AWS as a customer, to see so many companies be able to take these ideas of elastic infrastructure, which is delivered as a service, and to be able to build extraordinary products with it. Whether they are large organizations like TAIWAN and Philips, whether they're small startups that have grown into enormous successes like Airbnb and Intuit, or whether they are public service customers like the Ministry of Justice who are getting going on their cloud journey. It's tremendously exciting. And what we hear from these customers when we talk to them is that they love the new ways that are available to them to build applications because of the services that are available on AWS. If you're building what is very common, a collection of web and mobile applications for your customers, there's multiple different ways that you can do that depending on your needs. And any sufficiently advanced technology, which is likely to be indistinguishable to magic to most of your customers, will probably fall into one, but probably multiple of these different categories. Whether it's traditional 3-tier web applications, where you have a database front end, a database back end, and then a database underneath it, or whether you have a microservices architecture, where you're using containers to be able to put small components together in any confirmation that you want, or whether you're eschewing containers and servers altogether and just going serverless, just writing your code as a function which runs whenever it's necessary, or whether you want to go down the route of writing no code at all. This is an incredibly powerful way of getting quickly to market, of getting an idea into the hands of your customers. And so even if you're a developer, I wouldn't underestimate the power of not having to write any code. No code, there is no code that you could write which is better and more maintainable than writing no code. And we have a range of capabilities, whether it is Amplify Studio, which allows you to take your React code and your usability mocks and put them together and deploy them as an application at zero cost, or a set of capabilities which allow you to manage, run, provision all of your containers. We have AWS Lambda, which allows you to write serverless, event-based driven architectures, or Amazon Honeycode, where you can just import some data, generate the UX, and then push it out as a mobile app in a matter of minutes without writing a single code. All of these are accelerants for the innovation and the accelerants for the business to be all running. It also allows you to take advantages of the invention and the innovation that AWS puts in under the hood. And so if you just take, for example, one of the foundational core primitives of the cloud, compute. It's pretty big, pretty